thank you for spending some time today with the End Brain Cancer Initiative.
I'm Kathryn Kay. We've been married 19 years, and I've had a variety of occupations throughout my life. I went to beauty school when I was a teenager and worked as a hairdresser. Then I joined the Army, and so I'm a veteran, and that's an intricate part of my story too. I was exposed at Fort McClellan. They closed it down as a toxic site. It's not part of that PACT Act, but the staff at Dana-Farber, given what all was on the list, believed that it probably is what caused my cancers. When I turned 61, I started getting headaches. I already had a long history of migraine headaches, but they were more intense, and I was having trouble controlling my blood pressure. And then my daughter, at that party, she goes, "Mom, I think you're having mini strokes. I think you're having little strokes, and you need to go to the ER and get a CAT scan." 30 minutes later, I'd had my scan, and she came into the room and she said, "How long has it been since you've had your brain scan?" And I said, "I don't know, maybe 8 years." And she was like, "I don't know how to tell you this, but you have a brain tumor." The VA, because it was a medical emergency, they would go ahead and cover outside of the VA system. But once the craniotomy was done and the doctor told me I had lymphoma, they recommended an oncologist, and I went there. I knew a little bit about how VA worked, about paying outside. I had no clue of how we were going to pay, so they rejected us and sent us out. And we were out sitting in the car, and I was crying, and I was like, I don't know that the VA can really help me. And the doctor called us on the phone before we got out of the, and he told me to come back in, that we would figure out how we would get it paid for. But we go through treatment. I'm getting it every other week. I'm getting sick as a dog and weaker, and I can't remember how many treatments I'd had, but it was time for an MRI. Then my daughter calls and she's bawling her head off, and I go, "Why are you crying?" And she's like, "Mom, your cancer's back. It's not working." My oncologist in Oklahoma came in and he goes, "You're going to Boston." Well, I was so naive that the people that I'd ever known that had been in clinical trials, everything was paid for. And so I'm thinking I've got coverage. And because the doctor came in and said, "You're going to Boston," I thought it was all ironed out. It wasn't till we were in Boston in the hotel room that I realized I had no medical coverage. Supposedly, VA doesn't pay for clinical trials, but my daughter knew somebody that knew somebody that knew the chief of staff. Somehow, miracles, God, whatever, she approved me getting the treatment in Boston. In February, I started getting retested for another trial, and they gave me, and it was for CAR T. And then I went in May 26th of 2021 and had CAR T, and I was in the hospital about a month. We moved into a hotel room, and one of my favorite pictures is Ray was pushing me because I didn't have the strength. We had to stay there a month after I got out, and I didn't have the strength to get up and walk, and he pushed me in on a cart. This time when we went back, we went to the same hotel, and that's how I let my friends and family know this. The last time that I went to Boston that I was okay, I had him hold the sign up that said Ned, and him right on the cart and me pushing.
Doctors have been wonderful too at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. I highly recommend the folks there. They are so compassionate and caring. They're like going back to family when we go back there.
I want to be accessible. So is there a way that you can make a link or something where people can reach me, or add my email address or something? Because I'm more than happy to talk to.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you tell us your email address right now?
Yeah, it's KJKAY41759 @gmail.com.